beautiful angels. I'm Prairie Vintage. Let's take a look at the Biblical Tarot. Can't wait to get into this one. It says by Krasimir Kalin, connect with the divine, discover yourself, transform your life. All right, so I got these on Amazon. Let's take a look, shall we? I don't think I've seen these out and about anywhere, or on YouTube anywhere for that matter. And so I was captured by this beautiful Sacred Heart at the front of this deck. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Whether seeking guidance, wisdom, or a deeper connection to your spiritual roots, your journey begins here. Beautiful. So, study guide. biblicaltarot.com for additional information. So this is the guidebook, how to use the cards, the table of contents, the major arcana. So the Fool says the Soul, Magician, High Priest, Emperor. They look pretty standard aside from that, sorry, the Soul card. Okay, Major. And they have the Upright and the Reverse, the World, and then we have the Minor Arcana. So we have Candles, which says here, ambitions, growth, ideas, energy, motivation is fire. So that's Wands. Chalices is Cups. Feathers is Swords, and Grains is Earth. So upright and reverse for all of the minor arcana. All right, let's take a look. Wow, glossy. Look at the bottom. It says, God is love. Oh my goodness. Whoever lives in love lives in God, and God in them. 1 John 4:16. You are loved. Oh my goodness. I'm about to cry. It's like this deck was made for me. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Okay, so nice and glossy. Look at the back side. The 2 doves. Beautiful. Okay. Let's see. The soul, creation of a living being. Fool. Wow. Breathtaking. Normally I'm distracted by borders, but these don't bug me very much. Like, the artwork is absolutely beautiful. Let me see. Are you guys getting a lot of glare? No? Okay. The Magician with Moses. High Priestess with Mary Magdalene. The Empress with Mother Mary, Mother of Jesus. That's what's on the cover. The Emperor with King Solomon. Wow. High Priest, Aaron, brother of Moses. And the Lovers with Adam and Eve. The Chariot with the Pharaoh's Pursuit. Strength, Daniel, and the Lion's Den. Wow. The Hermit with John the Baptist. The Wheel Within a Wheel, Cycles of Life. Let's see, baby all the way to death. Or to old age, I should say. Justice, the 10 Commandments. I guess that would be Moses. The Hangman, Peter's crucifixion. Oh my goodness. Death, the 4th horseman. Powerful. Temperance, Mary and Martha. The Devil, Satan tempting humans to sin. It's the Ego. The Tower of Babel. I don't know if it's Babel. I call it Babel. The Star of Bethlehem. The Moon, Jacob's dream at Bethel. The Sun, triumphal entry into Jerusalem. Beautiful. I love that card. Judgment, the last judgments. The life review. The world, New Jerusalem. Interesting. Ace of Candles, Moses in the burning bush. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, Here I am. Exodus 3:4. Also, they have passages in each of these. Two of Candles, Elijah on Mount Carmel. Elijah went before the people and said, How long will you waver between two options? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, follow him. Three of Candles, the call of Abram. The Lord had said to Abram, Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land, and I will show you. Four of Candles, the ark brought to Jerusalem. Wearing a linen ephod, David was dancing before the Lord with all his might, while he and all Israel were bringing up the ark of the Lord with shouts and the sounds of trumpets. Five of Candles, Joseph and his jealous brothers. Come, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and not lay our hands on him. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh and blood. His brothers agreed. Six of Candles, the fall of Jericho. When the trumpet sounded, the army shouted, and at the sound of the trumpet, when the men gave a loud shout, the wall collapsed, so everyone charged straight in, and they took the city. Seven of Candles, David and Goliath. David said to the Philistine, You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. Wow, powerful. Eight of Candles, Philip and the Ethiopian. When they came up, hard to read with this tiny font without my glasses. When they came up out of the water, the Spirit of the Lord suddenly took Philip away, and the eunuch did not see him again, but went on his way rejoicing. Nine of Candles, Satan tests Job. In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing. 10 of Candles, Jeremiah's burden. Why did I ever come out of the womb to see trouble and sorrow and end my days in shame? I feel you, brother. All right, Page of Candles, Miriam's praise for Lord. Miriam sang to them, sing to the Lord. I feel like crying, you guys. Can I finish this? My goodness. Okay. I'm going to have to take a break. Page of Candles. I can't get past the Page of Candles. Miriam sang to them.
I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm so emotional. Miriam sang to them, "Sing to the Lord, for he is highly exalted. Both horse and driver he has hurled into the sea." All right. The Knight of Candles. Joshua, leader of faith, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Beautiful. The Queen of Candles, Deborah, I can't see, prophetess and leader. Now, Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lipidoth, was leading Israel at the time, and the King of Candles. I have been with you wherever you have gone, and I have cut off all your enemies from before you. Now I will make your name great, like the name of the greatest man on earth. The Ace of Chalices, Ace of Cups, Samaritan woman at the well. But whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give them will become in them a spring of water, welling up to eternal life. Beautiful. Two of Cups, the bond of David and Jonathan. And Jonathan made a covenant with David because he loved him as himself. That's so beautiful. Three of Cups, the wedding at Cana. And the master of the banquet tasted the water that had been turned into wine. Four of Cups, Jonah's anger. Now, Lord, take away my life, for it is better for me to die than to live. Five of Cups, the prodigal son. After he spent everything, there was a severe famine in the whole country, and he began to be in need. Six of Cups, Jesus and the children. When Jesus saw this, he was indignant. He said to them, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to such as these." Beautiful. Seven of Cups, the temptation of Christ. All this I will give you, he said, if you will bow down and worship me. Eight of Cups, the ascension of Jesus. After he said this, he was taken up before their very eyes, and a cloud hid him from their sight. Nine of Cups, the feast of Purim. As the time when the Jews got relief from their enemies, and as their month when their sorrow was turned into joy and their mourning into a day of celebration. Ten of Cups, Elizabeth and Zechariah's joy. One will be a joy and delight to you. He will be a joy and delight to you, and many will rejoice because of his birth. 10 Cups, beautiful. Page of Cups, Samuel, the boy prophet. And the Lord came and stood there, calling as at the other times, "Samuel, Samuel." When Samuel said, "Speak, for your servant is listening." Knight of Cups, young David. Whenever the Spirit from God came on Saul, David would take up his lyre and play. Then relief would come to Saul. He would feel better, and the evil spirit would leave him. Queen of Cups, Hannah, mother of faith. I prayed for this child, and the Lord has granted me what I asked of him. So now I give him to the Lord. For the whole life he will be given over to the Lord. For his whole life he will be given over to the Lord. Queen of Cups. King of Cups. I don't know how to say that. Nehemiah, rebuilding Jerusalem. Come, let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, and we will no longer be in disgrace. The Ace of Feathers, So this is the Ace of Swords, Saul's conversation. He fell to the ground and heard a voice say to him, Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? Two of Feathers, God tests Abraham's faith. Then God said, take your son, your only son, whom you love, Isaac, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there. The burnt offering for a mountain I will show you. Three of Feathers, rebellion against David. The king was shaken. He went up to the room over the gateway and wept. As he went, he said, oh, my son, Absalom. My son, Absalom. If only I had died instead of you. Oh, Absalom, my son, my son. That's sad. Four of Feathers, Elijah's retreat into silence. After the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. Five of Feathers, King Saul's tragic downfall. The Lord has torn the kingdom out of your hands and given it to one of your neighbors, to David. Six of Feathers, Ruth and Moabite. But Ruth replied, don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. That's 6 swords. 7 swords, Jacob and the deceiver. Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Please sit up and eat some of my game so that you may give me your blessing. 8 of Feathers, Jonah trapped inside the fish. He said, in my distress, I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From deep in the realm of the dead, I called for help, and you listened to my cry. 9 of Feathers, Peter denies Jesus. Then Peter remembered the word Jesus had spoken. Before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times. And he went outside and wept bitterly. Oh my goodness. 10 of Feathers, Samson loses his strength. After putting him to sleep on her lap, she called for someone to shave off the 7 braids of his hair, and so began to subdue him, and his strength left him. That's sad. Page of Feathers, Esther saves the Jews. The Queen Esther answered, if I have found favor with you, your majesty, and if it pleases you, grant me my life. This is my petition, and spare my people. This is my request. Knight of Feathers, Paul the Apostle. At once he began to preach in the synagogues that Jesus is the Son of God. Queen of Feathers, Abigail the Peacemaker. May you be blessed for your good judgment and for keeping me from bloodshed and this day and from avenging myself with my own hands. And the King of Feathers. Then the king gave his ruling. Give the living baby to the first woman. Do not kill him. She is his mother. Ace of Grains. This is the Ace of Pentacles. I will give you every place where your foot, as I promised. I will give you every place where you set your foot, as I promised Moses. 2 of Grains. Lydia, faithful businesswoman. One of those listening was a woman from the city of Thyatira named Lydia, a dealer in purple cloth. She was a worshiper of God. 3 of Grains, building Solomon's temple. As for this temple you are building, if you follow my decrees, observe my laws, and keep all my commandments, and obey them, I will fulfill through you the promise I gave to David your father. 4 of Grains, parable of the rich fool. Then he said to them, watch out and be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions. 5 of Grains, the bleeding woman. So she said to herself, if I only touch his cloak, I will be healed. 6 of Grains, widow's generosity. Calling his disciples to him, Jesus said, truly, I tell you, this poor widow has put more into the treasury than all the others. Beautiful. 7 of Grains, parable of the sower. Still other seed fell on good soil where it produced a crop 160 or 30 times what was sown. 8 of Grains, the craftsman. So Bezalel, Oholib, and every skilled person to whom the Lord has given skill and ability to know how to carry out all the work of constructing the sanctuary are to do the work just as the Lord has commanded. 9 of Grains, Queen of Sheba visits Solomon, and she gave the king 120 talents of gold, large quantities of species, and precious stones. 10 of Grains, God's promise to Abraham. All the land that you will see, give to you and your offspring forever. Page of Grains, Priscilla teaching the teachers. He began to speak boldly in the synagogue. When Priscilla and Aquila heard him, they invited him to their home and explained to him the way of God more adequately. Knight of Grains, Jacob works for Laban. So Jacob served 7 years to get Rachel, but they seemed like only a few days to him because his love for her. The Queen of Grains, Proverbs 31, woman. She sees that her trading is profitable and her lamp does not go out at night. King of Grains, Joseph, in charge of Egypt. So Pharaoh said to Joseph, I hereby put you in charge of the whole land of Egypt. Wow. Sorry, guys, for that little mini emotional breakdown. I don't know what was going on there with the King of Wands, but or something. So what are we doing? We're going to do a reading. I don't know what's going to come through, but there'll be a message for you and see what it is that Spirit wants to communicate to you guys at this time. Let's give it a good shuffle. Spirit, for the viewer, what is this message they are needing to hear? Please help me to channel this message for the greatest and highest good of the viewer. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of the viewer. What is it they're needing to know right here, right now? Okay, let's see. What do we have? The Queen of Swords at the bottom of the deck, Queen of Feathers, Abigail and the Peacemaker. May you be blessed for your good judgment and for keeping me from bloodshed this day and from avenging myself with my own hands. I see 2 people here. Someone knew better, someone knows better, someone sees better, someone understands better. There goes my email confirming. Ace of Candles, Moses and the burning bush. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses, and Moses said, here I am. Ace of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, and the 9 of Cups in reverse. The 10 of Wands, Jeremiah's burden.
Why did I ever come out of the womb to see trouble and sorrow and end my days in shame? Definitely resonated for me with this 10 wands. Let's keep going. We have the 3 of cups, a wedding at Cana, and the master of the banquet tasted the water and had been turned into wine. The sun, triumphal entry into Jerusalem. Okay, and then we have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. And here we have the 6 of Cups in reverse. And the Tower of Babel, however you want to say it. Okay, that's under the Queen of Swords, the Devil in reverse. There's the Sun and there's the Devil illuminating something here. Okay, there is a situation here, and I don't know who you are. If you're the Queen of Swords, I'm going to read it like you're the Queen of Swords. Okay, there's an experience here that you had with someone. I feel like whatever the situation wasn't pleasant with the Devil here. Could have been someone that was stuck in a pattern or keeping you in a pattern or stuck in some way. Okay, there's like a feeling of feeling bound to a situation or person or circumstance in an unhealthy way that I feel you've been seeing or communicating about the unhealthiness or shining some light or some understanding about this. I feel like you've been bringing attention to a situation to someone. And I feel like with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse and this 9 of Cups in reverse, it's like a situation that isn't sustainable for you or pleasant for you or emotionally satisfying for you to stick around. In fact, it's like calling for attention here. And maybe you could no longer stay in a situation that was to a point with the 10 wands that you couldn't carry on no more. It's like I can see clearly my only way through this heavy burden is to make a judgment call here. And so I feel like you might have been sitting with a choice, to remain in maybe a situation here that was very weighed down or pulling you to a situation that wouldn't be very good for you overall, or to choose to have happier times. And I feel like this understanding or the seeing might have weighed very heavy on you, to decide to leave some situation that had a hold of you or that maybe you felt very strong about. But it took seeing something or understanding something. And I feel like because of this, you're now bringing towards you more joyous situations and circumstances. Okay, but I do feel like whatever situation you're seeing through or finally having some understanding about, I feel like we can't pull others, because I feel like you're trying to change someone's mind or get someone to see something or understand something about a situation between you and this person or this situation and others involved. And so your decision or your understanding of something had to be solely focused and based on your own happiness, your own decision for you. And so I feel like whatever situation you had to sort of leave behind, because I do feel like it was one that was going to collapse on its own, or it was very stagnant in its own right. It wasn't producing something here. And I feel like this situation, in order for there to be a change and a shift, there had to be some movement on your end. And so I feel like although we carry this heavy burden, it's like we understand and we see clearly that the wake up and the shake up, although painful with the Tower because it's dismantling something, something that, again, we feel very attached to with the Six of Cups in reverse. It's hard to move on from it. It plays in our mind. It's something where we're very connected to. It's like the wake up and the shake up and the dissolution of that situation must come down. And I feel like you're having this clarity or this understanding about this, and you're going to be shown the way here, shown the way to happiness, shown the way to coming together in a way that actually gets to celebrate rather than feel burdensome and intense with the fire and the devil. Like, I feel like there was a very intense situation here that was bubbling up. And there was a need to make a choice or to pull yourself out of a situation. And I do feel like whoever you're dealing with or whatever situation, in order for it to be successful or for there to be whatever shift, there needed to be a fire set. And the fire set was you moving out or dealing with or highlighting and communicating a truth. And Five of Swords in reverse. So you're no longer playing by someone else's game or being challenged in that situation by removing yourself. You're no longer playing that game or a part of that, a part of that world. And so the only thing that you could bring towards you is harmony, is celebration, is a union with others, your group of people, your tribe, your family. Okay, this is the card of reconciliation, and same with this one. So I feel like if you have a friend, if you have somebody who you're concerned about, I feel like what Spirit is really showing here is your strength, although very heavy to carry on your own, is created a shift here in a situation that was required and needed. And that whoever you're dealing with here is definitely feeling what it was that you were trying to highlight. It's not emotionally fulfilling. It's something that becomes very burdensome and very stuck in not producing. Okay, it's very evident now. And so your absence is being felt, but we can't go back to what it was, So let's see then, what's the result of this then? So we have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, Leo, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Okay, let's see. And then Capricorn with the devil under that. Let's see. Why are we seeing this then? What is the final message? What is the final message here? I think you've been trying to get someone to see the light or the dangers of something, And with the devil is not good because someone could be wrapped up in their own patterns or unhealthy lifestyles. Could be addictions, obsessions, patterns. And I feel like maybe this person being around you was bringing you down or in that world. And the heaviness was having to deal with someone or communicate with someone a truth or having them see the truth. So let's see, Spirit, what is the final message then? What is it that the viewer is needing to know about this circumstance? Final message. Why are we seeing this? The World. Closure, conclusion, and this is successful conclusion. Okay, so whatever we've been going through, I feel has been a long process, but this is finally concluding something successfully. The Knight of Feathers in reverse. So this is not confronting something. I feel you've already confronted something and maybe you've removed yourself completely. Here's the Three Cups, which you've seen. Reconciliation, celebrations, coming together. The Ace of Feathers in reverse. So Ace of Swords. The Wheel within a Wheel. The Wheel of Fortune. and the 10 wands in reverse now. No longer carrying the burden. The Knight of Cups in reverse, and the King of Wands, King David. I have been with you wherever you have gone, and I have cut off all of your enemies from before you. Now I will make your name great, like the names of the greatest men on earth. What is under the world? The 8 of Wands in reverse. Okay, so we have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And the 4 of Wands. Okay, in reverse. So I think you're concerned. I think you had to do something about a situation. I think you've ended some major cycle here, okay, by offloading the burden. Whatever burden you were dealing with, that person, the situation, the devil with that person, by being affiliated with that group, with that person, there was a devil that could be introduced into your world. And I feel like as long as you are in sunlight energy, as long as you are illuminating the fact that something's unhealthy, then I feel like you're not a part of carrying whatever burdens, and I feel you've broken out of cycle. But I feel like what Spirit is showing is the movement in a situation here, okay, the movement towards something better. And so I feel like if you're dealing with somebody who didn't want to see or was avoidant of the truth or not being honest, okay, I feel like this is something that needs to be sort of dealt with within that person's own world, not by you, not because of you, but I feel like by you providing some example of breaking some cycle, putting an end to you carrying this, that situation must unfold and turn and shift. And so someone needs to deal with their own avoidance or their own lack of dealing with something or expressing their self, because I feel like there's a what's it called, a suppression of truth or emotions or suppression of acceptance. Okay, and so I feel like you will find harmony. Things will become harmonious once this shifts, and it is shifting for the better here. The burden of the situation will be offloaded because of your example. And so with the King of Wands, this is all about the confidence to attain what it is that we want. Okay, but here it says, I have been with you wherever you have gone, and I have cut off all your enemies from before you. Now I will make your name great, like the names of the greatest men on earth. I think something is changing now for the better in order for there to be a shift towards something that can be created. You know, all that's good remains. So if there was a deep friendship here, it remains. I think the only thing that doesn't remain is the burden. The only thing that doesn't remain is the untruth. Whatever was suppressed here, I feel that's the thing that's getting dealt with because of your ability to deal with the situation the way you have. And so the only thing that moves from the situation forward is this King of Wands energy, which I feel is a lot different than what we've experienced in the past. And so we might not be talking or involved in the situation, like feeling like it's stuck with the 8 wands in reverse. This is like a stuck situation. You know, it feels like it's not moving. There's a lack of communication. Something fell apart with the 4 of wands in reverse, because this could even indicate like our soul family or soul tribe, you know, but in the reverse, it's like it didn't come together. We couldn't establish something. And this is our soul tribe and our family coming together to celebrate. So I feel like we had to intervene with something that wasn't forming and coming together smoothly because of a lack of communication and forward movement. It was stuck. And so there's closure here. And look at this beautiful tree. So I feel like there's something very solid being born here. Something's turning for the better. It's the cycle of the next phase here after closing this chapter. by putting down the burden, not carrying on our own. Okay, and so I do feel like there is a form of positive energy that pulls out of the situation, like a friendship or a reconciliation of sorts that is a lot different than maybe what you were used to in the situation. Okay, so I want to see here just about this here, because Spirit's really highlighting this sort of avoidance, suppressed energy. So Spirit, what is this about this Knight of Swords in reverse, the Ace of Swords in reverse, and this Knight of Cups in reverse? The King of Swords sideways. So yeah, okay, this clarifies a lot. So remember at the beginning of the reading, you guys had the Queen of Swords under the deck. The Queen of Swords and the King of Swords represented Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. There was an understanding that you had that I think you were trying to get someone to see or understand. Okay. And I feel like this person is on the verge of understanding and seeing for themselves. Because the King of Swords is a very logical king who comes to understand so that he can strategize and plan. But if he's not seeing clearly and not thinking clearly, then the decisions are distorted. And I feel like whoever you were dealing with here was suppressing some understanding that they know better or could understand better. And so they're on the verge of this sort of understanding due to an action of your own. So you might have communicated the truth and then stopped talking to someone, or just like dropped the bomb, set a bush on fire and said, this is, I don't know. I feel the situation was, like I said, was intense and was going to blow up anyway, but I feel like you brought attention to something. And so the natural process, because like I said, this is very organic from birth to old age, the organic process of leaving this person to their own devices or their own intelligence is what's going to allow them to shift here and close something out. But I feel like you might have had to stop communication, or you might have had to create some space. You might have had to create your own closure for some time. But either way, I feel you're not going back or getting involved with this person's devil. And so this person is coming to understand what's the devil here is suppression of the truth and seeing clearly and understanding something that they might have been avoiding to take action on, or confronting something they might have needed to. And so this kept them in devil. It's like you keep highlighting the light, the sun and the burning bush. It's like, hey, the devil, the devil, the devil. And it's like, I can't keep talking to you or showing you or bringing up this devil. I want peace. I want harmony. I want to be, I want good relations. This is what I want from our partnership, from our friendship. And because I'm your friend, because I want harmony, because I enjoy you, or some part about this, I am telling you truths, and so this is felt and understood. But when we're in devil, sometimes we don't want to see or understand it. And so I think this is taking some time. Look at the sun. Yeah, you highlighted something. Okay, beautiful sun, most positive card in the tarot, success, enlightenment, joy, clarity, consciousness. So you might have been dealing with someone who was not conscious of what they were doing or what they were involved with. And you brought the light to a situation out of a goodness here, And I feel like even with the donkey here, maybe you had to be very stubborn about it. And maybe you had to be very persistent and stubborn in your efforts to remain truthful to your ideals, to not carry someone else's burden, to keep your dignity here and your name sort of clean. Stand in your own truth, and then the pathway was open for you. And I feel like that's exactly it. Like your pathway towards, towards sort of the joy, towards clarity, towards closing out something that could have been not good for you. So this is what I see, beautiful viewer. I hope this helped you guys, and I love this deck. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.